We begin tonight with Mycoplasma bovis. Could MPI and therefore the country have acted earlier? Could the Zeestraten farm in Southland, on which the infection appears to have originated, been quarantined, thus preventing the spread of the disease? Now, MPI will consider this as part of their investigations. But MPI weren't alerted to Mycoplasma bovis by the Zeestraten farm. They were told by South Canterbury farmers, where animal welfare concerns led to a vet contacting Massey University and then to MPI being notified. So what did the vet see or not see on the Winton farm belonging to Gia and Alphonse Zeestraten, where it's believed the outbreak did begin? Were there symptoms? Sometimes there's not. Were any symptoms treated that might have raised a red flag if someone with a knowledge of Mycoplasma bovis had been alerted to them, as happened in South Canterbury? Checkpoint has exhaustively sought to track down the vet who saw the stock on that Winton farm. We called the Zeestratens themselves and asked Gia.
I don't give names at the moment, sorry.
OK, because you had Vet South, didn't you, until 2008, and then Vet for Farm from 2008 to 2012. Who took over after 2012?
You better talk to my husband about it.
So we called her husband, Alphonse Zeestraten, repeatedly, and all we got was this.
G'day, Alphonse here. Please don't leave me a voice message. Please call me back later if I do not return your call, or if it's urgent, please send me a text message. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
So we texted and texted again, no response. But we are tonight able to reveal that two Southland-based vets had earlier ended their relationship with the Zeestratens. One was Vet South, highly respected in the region with multiple clinics throughout Southland, including in Winton where the Zeestraten farm is. They stopped visiting the farm in 2008 after differences over animal care. A smaller local practice then stepped in, Vet for Farm, but their relationship with the farm ended in 2012, well before Mycoplasma bovis was there. No one could tell us who took over vet duties on the farm after that. We asked MPI's Director of Readiness and Response, Jeff Gwynn.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. I don't know off the top of my head.
Was there a vet? Was there a Southland vet, a local vet, visiting the Zeestraten property?
The Zeestratens do have a vet, but I don't believe that vet is local.
So if there were symptoms and mastitis and real distress associated with mastitis seems to have been the symptom that alerted people in the Van Leeuwen farm in South Canterbury, if there were symptoms, who would have detected them?
Well, the animal welfare responsibility sits with the farmer, so the farmer is obviously in the best position to understand the health of their herd, and if the farmer has any concerns, it's up to them to notify their vet.
Why doesn't MPI know where their vet's located? Isn't it material what the vet saw, what symptoms the animals were presenting with on that Winton property?
Look, I think what's material to us is that we establish the farm through our tracing activities, and once we confirm through laboratory testing the presence of the disease on the property, we then lock that property down, and it's been under regulatory control ever since.
Jeff, has MPI spoken to the vet?
Look, MPI conducts a full investigation into all of the farms that are under regulatory control, and we will speak to a number of people to establish when the disease arrived on the property. But I'm not going to go into detail of all of those investigations.
No, but hold on. This is really material, isn't it? Because this is the farm from which it is now thought Mycoplasma bovis originated in this country, isn't it?
At this stage, it's our earliest recorded expression of the disease in New Zealand. Yes.
So have you spoken to the vet that was working with this farm?
John, I'm not going to comment on the...
No, I really need you to comment on it, Jeff. I really need you to comment on it. This is absolutely material. You're not even able to tell me who the vet is or where they're from. Have you spoken to them?
We have conducted a number of compliance and technical investigations across New Zealand in relation to all of the infected properties.
Have you spoken to the vet that was working on the Zeestraten property in Winton where Mycoplasma bovis originated?
I'm not prepared to comment on ongoing investigations, and there are a number of them occurring across New Zealand.
I'm not asking you to comment. It's a simple yes or no question, and I'd really like a yes or no answer. Have you spoken to the vet?
I'm not prepared to answer the question, John.
Let's talk about what happened on that Van Leeuwen property in South Canterbury then. What I've heard, and I'd love it if you could confirm this, is that there was a share milker there who looked at the symptoms and thought something is awry. He or she immediately consulted an expert, as was entirely appropriate. The expert then called in Massey University, I believe, who said, this looks like trouble to us. In other words, they blew the whistle correctly and directly, and Mycoplasma bovis was identified there. That's all correct, isn't it, more or less?
Yes, they rang our 800 number, which is the first MPI heard of it, and that's the right thing to do. And then obviously subsequently tests were done by our labs, which confirmed the presence of Mycoplasma bovis on the property.
So the South Canterbury property blew the whistle on the basis of animal welfare issues. Mastitis in particular, we understand, but there may have been other symptoms as well.
Yes.
Did the same happen at the Zeestraten property in Winton?
Look, the Winton property was found through our tracing. In fairness, some of the clinical symptoms of M. bovis can actually be confused with other diseases, like mastitis does occur under a variety of conditions. But in this instance, the property in Winton was discovered through our tracing efforts.
You've told me previously that the property in Winton was being serviced, for want of a better description, by a vet who wasn't based in Southland. How was that vet able to assess the symptoms?
Well, I think that's a question you'd be better to ask the Zeestratens or the vet themselves.
Have you any sense of when Mycoplasma bovis was first on the Zeestraten farm?
What we have is a great deal of work done by our technical experts and the Massey Epidemiological Centre, and the genetic clock, which shows the introduction, is likely to have been either December 2015 or January 2016.
So it's possible it was there as early as December 2015?
That's the evidence we have to date.
MPI's Director of Readiness and Response, Jeff Gwynn. So if it was on the farm in 2015, it took 2 years for MPI to find out about it. Who was the vet and what did they see? After we did that interview, and just before we came on air tonight, we spoke to a veterinary clinic on Waiheke Island, just off the coast of downtown Auckland. Despite being 1,600 kilometres away from the farm, we had been told they had worked with the Zeestratens. Vets on Waiheke is the practice. The vet is Alexandra Gilmore. She wasn't available to talk to us, but we asked her husband, Stephen, who manages the practice, if they have worked with the Zeestratens.
Yes.
How often did you go to the Zeestraten farm in Winton?
I don't know. I know that we try to have 6 monthly visits, basically. Yeah.
Try to have?
Yeah, that's the aim. Is to get down every 6 months.
Do you get down every 6 months?
Yeah.
Sorry, was that a yes or a no?
Yes.
What expertise do you have in the area of Mycoplasma bovis?
None. Myself, I don't know. If you'd have to talk with Alex about what she knows about it. I don't know what she knows about it.
Has she studied bovine health?
Yes.
So she has some experience of working with cows, because there aren't many on Waiheke Island, are there?
Yes, she has experience. Yes. And there's a few here, but yes, no, she's had experience.
How long have the Zeestratens been your clients for?
We took over the practice about 2 years ago, and so I guess they've been with us for roughly that length of time. I'm not 100% sure when things started happening with them, but around about that length of time.
Were they already with the practice? Were they already clients of the practice?
Yes.
Has your clinic on Waiheke been visited by MPI staff as part of their investigation into Mycoplasma bovis?
We were audited by them recently, so I assume it was in relation to that year.
Audited, was it a routine audit or an unusual audit?
was an unusual audit, but it was an audit. They just wanted to make sure that all the paperwork was was correct and that things were happening as they were meant to happen, and that's what they found, that nothing was untoward.
Were you given warning that they were coming in, or
No,
what?
they just turned up.
And you believe it's part of their investigation into the Mycoplasma bovis infection?
Yeah, look, I can't give you that it's 100% the case, but of course that's what I would assume.
Stephen Gilmore telling us that vets on Waiheke were the Zeestratens' vet. We want to talk to the Zeestratens about why they would use a vet on Waiheke Island. Off the coast of downtown Auckland, they have still not returned our call. We want to talk to Alexandra Gilmore about what she saw. Were their symptoms on that farm consistent with the symptoms displayed by cows with Mycoplasma bovis? We're still waiting to hear back from her. We will update you on what we learn about this. This, remember, is the farm where Mycoplasma bovis originated.